Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karvavahai Tejasvina Badhitam Astu Mavid Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, may the Supreme Spirit protect us. May the Supreme Spirit nourish us. May we work together with great energy. May our study be vigorous and fruitful. May love and harmony dwell amongst us. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto all. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness to light. Lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto all. Today is the last lecture before the summer recess starts. We shall have summer recess from today till September 6th. September 6th, Sunday, we shall start again with the Sunday lecture. And during this summer recess, our Sunday lectures and Wednesday classes, we won't have, but our Friday discussion on Aparakshana Bhuti and Swami Prapandanandaji's discourse on Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna will continue. You can find the details in our website. So we are trying to understand Bhagavad Gita, and we have completed 4 chapters so far, and now we're entering into 5th chapter. And 5th chapter starts with Arjuna's doubt. In 3rd chapter also, Arjuna had a doubt in the very beginning, which is better, karma yoga or jnana yoga. And then Sri Krishna tried to make him understand that both are required depending upon which stage of spiritual growth a spiritual seeker is. That will determine what is more important for the spiritual seeker. In 5th chapter also, Arjuna has a doubt which way of life is better, a life of activity or a life of contemplation. A contemplative life, which technically Sri Krishna called sannyasa, and an active life, a karma yogi's life. With this doubt starts the 5th chapter. And Sri Krishna, in the first few verses, tells Arjuna that none is superior to other. Both have their own advantages and disadvantages. What is important is the attitude with which one does one's duty, one's work. And that's how one get prepared to lead a contemplative life, a life of Jnana Yoga. And that is the common theme of entire Vedas or entire Upanishad, that to pursue Jnana Yoga, path of knowledge, lifestyle is not important. Many had the doubt whether it is necessary to leave everything, give up everything to lead the path of Jnana Yoga. Sri Krishna says, no, it is not so. What matters is how one, the lifestyle that what matters most, and the attitude with which one does one's work, and with what awareness one does so, that matters most. And but he says that for majority of us, active lifestyle is better. You may remember in third chapter also, Sri Krishna spoke about Janaka, King Janaka, who was called a Rajarshi, king as well as a sage. Although he was a king, but he was fully illumined sage. So even in the midst of activities, intense activities, one can lead a life of Jnana Yogi with full awareness of the reality. And it is said, there is a story about Janaka that his guru was Yajnavalkya, and Yajnavalkya was giving classes on Upanishads to his disciples. All his disciples were monks except Janaka, who was king. And these monks had a superiority complex that what Janaka is doing here, he is a king and he is not fit for this Brahma Jnana, Brahma Vidya. So Yajnavalkya did one trick. One day when the discourse, the class was going on, suddenly a news came that their city, Mithila, is burning with fire. Mithila is burning with fire. And immediately all the monks ran away from the class to their huts. They had small huts, hardly any belonging, but even whatever belongings they had, they ran away to save them. And when they came back, they saw Janaka engaged in the conversation, engaged in the class, totally engrossed in the class. Then they asked Janaka that you are the king of Mithila. How come that the news that Mithila is burning could not disturb you? Then Janaka said something in Sanskrit which became very popular. He said, Mithilayam pradagdhayam name kinchit pranashati. Even if the entire Mithila is burned into ashes, it does not matter to me. For others, for any other type of king, this news that his kingdom is burning or the capital of the kingdom is burning would have elicited a response like, what? But for Janaka, it was, so what? So Arjuna, Sri Krishna also wants to drive home this point in 5th chapter, that how we, following some practices, can become established in a state where even in shock, we respond not with what, but so what? That is what he is going to say. From what to so what? And what are the steps involved in that? that he deals with in verse number 7. Verse number 7 of chapter 5. He says, Yoga yukto vishuddhatma vijitatma jitendriyaha sarvabhutatma bhutatma kurvannapi na lipyate. So he mentions the stages that one spiritual seeker goes through. First is Yoga Yukta. Yoga Yukta means Karma Yoga Yukta. One who is engaged in the world but does their work with a spirit of service, with a spirit of dedication. That is a seeker who has struck a balance between his material pursuit and spiritual pursuit. Because such a seeker has intuitively felt that we are a mixture of spirit and matter. At the initial stage, that is what the spiritual seeker uh, gets convinced about, that we are not totally material, but we are a mixture of spirit and matter. So, if it is so, then it would be wrong to devote one's entire life only to material pursuit. There should be a balance between material pursuit and spiritual pursuit. Yes, of course, at the beginning, they have to support their family, they have to climb the corporate ladder, have to earn fame, earn money. That is not, that is totally understandable and permissible according to the Vedas, but there should be some scope for spiritual pursuit too. But with time, with the progress of time, the emphasis should be more on spiritual pursuit. That is the Vedic way of life, and that is what Bhagavad Gita is placing before us. That yes, initially fine, we have to take care of our material pursuit, but with time, the emphasis should be more and more in spiritual pursuit. I try to think it this way, that so probably you know that for an individual, when they are investing in stock, the rule of thumb is subtract your age from 100. So if you are 30, 70% of your investment should be in stock, rest should be in fixed income. And as you age, the exposure to stock should be less and less, and the more investment should be towards the fixed income group. So also Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna wants to say that uh, the more we age, the less and less should be our involvement in material pursuit, and more emphasis should be given to spiritual pursuit. And what is this karma yoga? What kind of activities Sri Krishna means by karma yoga? That we saw in third chapter in brief. Pancha Mahayagya, 5 great sacrifices. That is Deva Yagya, that is doing some amount of spiritual practices or some amount of religious practices daily. That is Deva Yagya. Then Pitri Yagya, that is showing or acknowledging our gratitude to our forefathers. what it means in day-to-day life is trying to maintain the family traditions and showing our gratitude to our parents, our grandparents in our daily life. Then Rishi Yagya, that means showing our respect and gratitude to the all the seers and sages. How? By studying seriously and contemplating on the scriptures. Whatever those scriptures may be, whatever you think is appealing to you, read daily, sadhaya. Some amount of studies, religious study, should be done daily. Then Manushya Yagya, that is charity towards others in any way, through time, by money, or even good words, sweet words, helping others. That is Manushya Yagya. Then Bhuta Yagya, that means taking care of the environment and taking care of all the animals. So, such a life which has got all these practices incorporated in uh, daily on daily basis is a life of yoga yukta. It's a karma yogi because a karma yogi has understood the principle that what I am is more important than what I have. My peace, my happiness, my security does not depend fully on what I have, but it depends upon what I am. So one should devote time and energy to make a better I, to evolve in what I am, evolving the I, what I am. Such a yoga yukta person, such a person who is mindful about activities become Vishuddhatma. That is, one is free from attachment and aversion, too much of liking and too much of disliking, free from dependence on the world, too much of dependence of people, things they can get rid of. That is, people are welcome, things are welcome, but even without them, I am okay, I am fine. That is Vishuddhatma. Vijitatma Jitendriyaha. As gained, such a person has gained some control over their body and sense organs. That is, they can channel their psychic energy, their intellectual energy, physical energy to spiritual growth. It is like a dam that if we want to channel the water of the dam, the energy, not only we have to make a dam on the river to stop the flow, but also channel it towards better purpose. So a yoga yukta person, a karma yogi, can also channel their energy for spiritual growth or spiritual pursuit. And what becomes of such a person? That is a beautiful word which captures the essence of spirituality. Entire Jnana Yoga, entire goal of Jnana Yoga or Vedanta can be captured in this single word. Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma. That is, one who sees oneness, the same oneness in everybody. That is, one who feels a spiritual connection with everybody. At first, the idea was I am spirit behind this body, which was dealt in great detail in second chapter, verse number 12 to 25, that the spirit in us is undecaying one, eternal one, formless one. Even the body dies, the spirit does not die. Initially, that was the understanding that I am spirit behind this body. But gradually, this understanding matures into I am the spirit behind every body. I am spiritually connected with everybody. Just as same electricity is working in every gadget, electrical gadget, so also the same spirit that is in me is in every body, every being. Such a person becomes detached person. Kurbanapi na lipyate. Even they do work through their body and mind, they know that in fact they are not doing. It is just like traveling in a car. Even if we are moving at 80 miles per hour, but we are not gasping for breath. If we run 10 miles per hour, um, at a speed of 10 miles per hour, we gasp. But when we are driving, we are not. We are not feeling that even we are driving at the speed of 80 miles per hour. To for such a karma yogi who feels like I am the spirit, for them, even though they are doing work, they feel that we are not doing anything. They can objectify their own body and mind. They know that this body and mind is subject to arrival and departure. We we understand this in terms of others' body and mind. That is why we can read with great objectivity about obituaries, obituaries of other people. We can be great philosopher at that time. That people will be born and people will die. What's in that? But for a Gyani, then same objectivity remains with regard to their own body mind. And that's why kurban napi na lipyate. Even though their body and mind are engaged in activities, they feel like they are not doing anything. This is explained further in two verses. Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manneta tattvavid पश्यन् शृण्वन् स्पृशन् जिघ्रन् अश्नन् गच्छन् सपन् शशन् प्रलपन् विसृजन् गृह्णन् उन्मिषन् निमिषन्नपि इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेषु वर्तन्त iti dharayan. So he speaks about all types of activities a person can do, like seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving, breathing, talking, opening the eye, closing the eye. But the disciplined knower of the truth understands I do not do anything at all, bearing in mind that the sense organs remain in sense objects. So in these two verses, the wise person's way of life is talked about. This is the description of a tattvavid, a knower of reality, one who is yukta, always alert. They feel naiva kinchit karomiti, I don't do anything. My higher nature, higher I is not involved in anything. But their body and mind, they do all their actions, all the five sense organs, all five motor organs, they will be engaged in action, but they know that my higher self, the higher I, is not really involved in anything. And they also don't have any selfish motive because they have found their fulfillment in their higher self. If they have no selfish motive, then what will be their motive for work? Which is their motive for work will be love and compassion. So, in whatever position they will be in the society, they will try to do accordingly. Because according to Vedanta, love and compassion is natural to us, which remains suppressed due to selfishness or ego, small ego. But for a realized one, an illumined one, we see that in whatever way, capacity it is possible, they try to help the people around them. So they do whatever the society needs. If people around them needs food, they will try to give food. Need money, they would try to give money. If time, they would try to give time. And if he feels that people around them needs knowledge, they will provide knowledge. That is what we find in the lives of illumined people. Take any illumined people, all they don't have any motive, selfish motive, nothing to gain, but they are constantly engaged in doing good to people because it is naturally they are feel love and compassion to people around them. It is not that an illumined person will be like a stone, that they won't do anything. That wrong idea may, many people might have. In fact, Arjuna had this doubt in second chapter. Sthita pragyasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava. Sthitadhi kim prabhasheto kim asito brajeto kim. How does an illumined person walk? How does an illumined person talk? As if an illumined person will walk with his hands, not with his feet. So Sri Krishna would say that no, illumined person do all the activities that we are doing, but with a completely changed attitude. Illumined person are most normal people. We asked a very senior Swami that who has seen many illumined Swamis of our order and had remained with them for a long time. We asked him, Swami, you have seen so many illumined souls. So what do you find in them? What is the common observation? He said, illumined people are very normal people. Very normal people. They do what needed to be done, but they are never anxious about anything. That is the one great lesson I have learned in my life. That Swami continued, that illumined people are very normal people. Such an illumined person feel naiva kinchit karomiti. Although body are doing work, sense organs are doing work because body, sense organs, all are made up of matter and they are engaged with objects in the world which are matter. So matter involved in matter. In heat, they will feel the heat. In cold, they will feel the cold. Only difference is in times of crisis, they won't be shocked. So we may say, what? And they would say, so what? Speaking about shock, there's a story that there was a person who had weak heart. His heart condition was not good. And he purchased a lottery ticket and he forgot about that lottery and gave it to his son. And his son found that this ticket has won the lottery and $1 million. $1 million. Then they were worried how to break the news to this person because since his heart was weak, if the person is shocked from the news, what will happen? So, how to break the news? Then they contacted his heart specialist who has been seeing him for many years. So, he told the heart specialist, look, my dad got such a lottery and we are worried how to break the news to him. Then the cardiologist said, okay, send your dad to me. I will break the news to him in such a way that he is not shocked. So the dad goes for a normal visit to the cardiologist, and the cardiologist, while talking about many things, just mentions, suppose you get $1 million. What will you do with that money? Then the person said, well, you have taken care of my heart so much. Half of it I will give it to you. And the cardiologist, out of shock, had heart attack. So, shock, how to deal with shock. That is from like Janaka, the the advantage of jnana or advantage of awareness of our true nature is when there is shock, instead of saying what, we may say so what. Though, so such a illumined person knows that I have a higher I, compared to which this lower I is insignificant. So they feel all the pain, all the suffering of the lower I, but they have got such a treasure called higher I, in front of which the problems and sufferings of lower I becomes insignificant. We can guess some of it from the life of the freedom fighters. As individuals, they fought so much. They were, some of them were captured, they were tortured, but they felt all the pain, all the third degree torture in the jail that they went through, they felt. But they had a consciousness that they were not this individual I. They belong to a bigger I, such as I am an American fighting for America. I'm an Indian fighting for India. So in front of that awareness, these sufferings of the lower I become insignificant to them. It is not that they did not feel the pain, they felt all the biological pain, but it became insignificant with them. If it can be with regard to, you know, awareness like I am an Indian, I am an American, and which make us, uh, which in front of which the sufferings become biological sufferings, mental sufferings become insignificant. Think of what it feels like when we get identified with our higher I. That is what we see in Sri Ramakrishna's life, that in cancer, when towards the end of his life, when he had cancer, he had he had suffering, he had pain, and sometimes he cried out of pain. But Swami Turiyananda said, "Sir, I see that your body is suffering, but internally you are in full bliss." Sri Ramakrishna said, "This rascal has caught me." So it is not that a Gyani, an illumined person, does not feel the pain, does not do the activities. They do everything, but they have such a higher awareness, awareness of higher I, in front of which these sufferings become insignificant. And then he continues, Brahmanadhaya karamani sangam tyaktva karoti yaha lipyate na sa papena padmapatram ivambhasa. Such a person who goes on doing their work with such a awareness that I am not in fact doing, I am dedicating all actions to all pervading spirit or the God, personal God, such a person, Sangam Tyakta, they are not attached to, they, that's what, that is, they don't have anxiety regarding future, which is a biggest problem for all of us. This person, a Gyani, can plan for future, meticulously plan, but they are not anxious about future. Sangam Tyakta. And that is the sign of Karma Yoga. That is the sign of Bhakti too. In fact, that is the sign of any yoga, that calmness of mind, not being anxious about the future. make all the preparation, all the planning that is needed, but not being anxious about them. Lippate nasa papena. With such a person are not tainted by even if there is any defect in their work. Even their work, if there is any defect, they are not tainted by them because their attitude is that they are dedicating all their actions to the all pervading spirit which is present in everybody, or the God, all pervading God, my own personal God, my own Ishta Devata that is present in everything. Such a person, lippati nasa papena. Even if there is defect in their work, they are not tainted by that. And he gives an example, Padda patram ambasa iva, like a lotus leaf. As the lotus leaf is in water, but not smeared by it or does not get wet, so also such a person's work is such that they are not tainted by their work. That is, even though they are at the midst of activities, at the midst of responsibilities, in the midst of family, in the midst of society, but they are not worried so much. They are able to smile. They are able to smile in the even in the midst of their responsibilities and activities. That is, they in course of time with problem they can respond as so what. Instead of saying what, they can say so what. And this transformation is gradual. Immediately, we may not gain this kind of composure, this kind of awareness, but with spiritual growth, as we are growing slowly, we, in the course of time, maybe it is taking for us now days to respond from what to so what, but with time, it will become instantaneous. For the moment, we may say what, but at the next moment, we will become aware of our higher I and we will be able to respond with so what. I would like to conclude with two examples we see. One is in the life of Sri Ramakrishna. And Sri Ramakrishna was, priest of the Kineshwar Kali temple for such a long, long time. And he had his nephew Hriday. And Hriday sometimes did mischievous activities. Once he did something, and Trailokya Bishwas, who was son of Mathur Bishwas, that is, he was the trustee or secretary or estate manager, whatever we say, he was very angry with Hriday, Sri Ramakrishna's nephew. He said, Hriday should go away from here. And out of rage, he also said, we also don't need Sri Ramakrishna here anymore. And this news came to Sri Ramakrishna. He heard this news. He was sitting on the loggia of the temple complex, and he was wearing his dhoti, and there was a towel on his shoulders. When he heard that they said they don't require you anymore, he said, "Oh, is it so?" He started walking away. Okay, they don't need me. So he, with the towel, he just started walking away. And people saw that he's walking away, and somebody informed Trailokya Bishwas that Sri Ramakrishna heard this and he said, okay, then I am going away from here. Imagine, he has been there for so many years. Maybe when it happened, maybe he has already lived in Dakshineshwar 25 years or even more than that. And with a single notice, single information, he heard they don't need. Okay, With towel, he started walking away. And fortunately, the Keshar temple garden is big enough, large enough. By the time he reached the main gate, Tailokko came running. He said, "Forgive me, it was just out of rage I said so. You very much are required here." He said, "Oh, I am required. All right, let me go back." So, like a child, he again came back. So, for others, you imagine the situation for others, they would have said, "What? I have lived here for so many years and did so much, and just in an instant they are saying they don't need us, need me." And even if he had to leave, he had so much of regret, but in an instant he says, "All right," and without any belongings, with just a towel, he walks away. And again comes back when they say, "No, no, we need you." "Okay, you need me, okay." Then he comes back. Another example I would like to give, this I heard about Swami Ranganathanandaji, one of our presidents, and who was a great orator. And he was head of our Delhi branch for many years. He was cultural ambassador of India, and he visited all over the world for his lecture tour. He was extremely popular speaker in India, in Delhi, and every Sunday he used to give a talk in the evening, and the auditorium used to be so full. I think auditorium has a capacity of 1000 people, sitting 1000 people, but it used to overflow and people used to sit on the lawns of the ashrama. And who used to sit on the lawns? Sometimes Prime Minister of India, sometimes Prime Minister of India, and with their ministers, high-ranking minister, they would come to listen to the talk, and without finding any place, they would sit on the lawn and listen to Swami Ranganathananda's talk. So he was extremely popular at the height of his glory in Delhi. And one day he got a postcard. In postcard is, in open letter. You can read, everybody can read what is there. It's not in envelope. It's a postcard, open postcard. A postcard from Swami Madhavanandaji, who was the General Secretary of Ramakrishna Mission. And there was only one sentence written: "Dear Ranganathananda, leave Delhi, go to Hyderabad, start a new center." And next day, Ranganathananda left with a small bag of his belongings. Hyderabad, where we did not have any center, he went by train, lived in a tin shed for many years, and built a big center over there. So in a moment's notice, they can say, "So what?" Any other people from worldly angle, if such a person who is in the height of glory and fame gets such a letter, it will take some time to digest the content of the letter. For Swami Ranganathananda, it was, "All right, let me go to Hyderabad." Next day, he moved to Hyderabad. So they can say, instead of saying what, they can say, "So what?" And that is what the promise of Bhagavad Gita, that if we also gradually follow steadily but slowly our spiritual life, our spiritual pursuit, we also in the course of time will be able to say from what to so what. Next will more things will come in fifth chapter that we shall see after the summer recess. Let me see. I think I have got two questions. Is that Janakar neglecting his duty as a king by not attending to his duty? Yes, that is surely so. But the point here is, first of all, It was an illusion created by Yagyavalkya. It was not Mithila is not was not in fire, but anyway, nobody knew that it was an illusion. The point is, when he was engaged in discussion about the Brahma Vidya, he forgot about that he was a king. Secondly, he was not anxious about the fire and Mithila, but he definitely was a good king and would have done whatever needed to be done. The point is being anxious or not being anxious. Even without being anxious, one can do their duty, and that is the point here, that King Janaka's level of awareness, that yes, I know this is my duty, but it does not matter. I am not anxious about that. That is the point here. Another question is, so what could also be interpreted as a reaction for their laziness or not caring attitude. Now, as a king, caring about his subject is most important for Janaka. How can he justify his inaction in this case? He can probably see everything is Brahman, but people who are burning, they are suffering in hell by relying on Janaka. Thakur cried for his nephew when he passed away. How do you compare between the reaction of these two people, Janaka and Ramakrishna? It was Akshay, son of Ramakrishna's older brother. Yes, it is also in the same line. The point is, Sri Ramakrishna cried when he heard that when his nephew Akshay died, but immediately he again came back to the consciousness that body is like that, it will go away. It will go, it is subject to arrival and departure. And again, what I said, that it is not about Janaka's neglecting his duty. Janaka remained calm and engrossed in what he was doing, that is Brahma Vidya. And had he been a careless king, uh, he would not have been so famous a king. And the point is, he was not negligent about his duty, but he was not anxious about that. So that is um, the limitation of the example. Here the example was only to mean that even being engaged in so much of responsibility, kingly responsibility, one can still remain in that awareness. So, what Arjuna's question was, is a contemplative life better than an active life? So, this story illustrates what Sri Krishna already told, that even in the midst of activities, in the midst of tremendous activities, one can remain unperturbed and, and not anxious, but with cool head can keep on discharging their duty. This was the point of this illustration. All right. So let me make the announcement, which I all made in the beginning, that from today we shall have summer recess till September 6th. September 6th, Sunday lecture. From that, we shall start again. And during the summer recess, we won't have the Sunday lectures and Swami Prapandanandaji's Wednesday class, but we shall continue with our Friday discussion on Aparakshanubhuti and Swami Prapandanandaji's discourse on Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Another question, Sami, have you unmuted everyone? Yeah, I have unmuted. I have mute. No, I have not unmuted. So yeah, do you want to talk? Anybody want to interact? Okay. So wishing all of you a summer vacation, good summer vacation. Enjoy it and see you on September 6th I will talk on September 6th. Yeah, thank you all. Let me unmute. Let me hear your voice. Okay, you can talk also. I have unmuted all of you. I'm still muted. I don't know. I have unmuted. I have, okay. I don't know. Mute all, allow participants to, okay. Yes, sorry. Now you can. I am sorry. Yes, yes, yes.
Thank
Namaste.
you. Thank you, Swamiji. Thank you very
Yes,
much.
sure.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Ram Maharaj. Thank
Namaskar.
you. Thank you.
Yes, so after summer recess, we'll be able to say, so what? So let us chant together. The closing chant. Please join me in chanting. Om Madhuvata Ritayate Madhuksharanti Sindhavaha Madhi Santoshadhihi Madhunaktam Utoshasi Madhumat Parthivagam Rajaha Madhudvau Astuna Pita Madhumano Vanaspatir Madhumagam Astu Suryaha Madhvirgavo Bhavantu Naha. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Sweet blow the winds, and the oceans give forth blessedness. May the herbs and plants bring us health and happiness. Sweet unto us be the nights and dawns. May every particle of Mother Earth be charged with blessing. May the heavens shower us with benediction. Sweet unto us be the noble forest trees. Sweet unto us be the shining sun. Sweet unto us be all living creation. Om, sweetness, harmony, peace. Thank you all